worse than any of us could have ever imagined.
Careful who you put
The
your
Last
faith
of Us on HBO premiered this week, and it's being met with positive reviews from both fans and critics. It is a familiar story for some. The series is based on the 2013 video game of the same name. It is the end of the world, and most of humanity has been destroyed by a pandemic. Hi, Eli. You wouldn't think that's the recipe for a smash hit right now, but it brought in major ratings for its premiere episode. So let's talk more about this with Screen Time columnist Eli Glasner to break it all down. So another day, another dystopia, but people love this stuff. What are the ingredients here?
Well, as you said, best-selling video game, the right actor in the right place, and I just think smart storytelling. First, let's start with the source material. 2013, this video game, The Last of Us, comes out, and it is a smash hit. Not because people love running around in forests and hunting from snipers and hiding from snipers and zombies, but you look at these amazing, what we call cutscenes, these kind of little mini movies in the middle of the game, and it was this powerful story about Joel and Ellie, this adult and young girl thrown together who have to depend on each other in what you can see is clearly a broken world. But how do you take 15 hours of gameplay and turn it into what? It was too long to be a movie. The creator, Neil Druckmann, tried. Enter Craig Mazin, the screenwriter who gave us movies like The Hangover Part 2 and Identity Thief. So was a comedy guy, but then he made Chernobyl, which was this amazing HBO series. And I think it showed us humanity at its best and its worst. And you can see how that would translate to the world of The Last of Us. And certainly it does. Turns out the creator of the video game was a fan of Craig's. Craig loved the video game. And so here we are. But there's still one last ingredient. You cannot do this show without finding the right Joel. And you know how voracious and protective video game fans are of these characters. Who will play this man, this kind of grumpy guy forced to be a father figure? Well, how about the internet's favorite new zaddy, Pedro Pascal, the guy that we've been seeing protect Baby Yoda for years as the Mandalorian, or at least the Mandalorian's voice. So it seems like perfect casting. And here we are.
Wow. Okay, so now we have the ingredients. Tell us more about the story. Where do we begin?
So there's this amazing opening set piece, kind of a Dick Cavett-like talk show that talks about the potential of a fungal pandemic. This is the kind of fungi that can take over a beetle and then it forces the insect to infect other insects. But what if that happened with people? That's the appetizer. Then we jump ahead to 2003. We meet Joel, his daughter Sarah, his brother Tommy. Life is tough, but there's a lot of love in this little home. This is the last normal day in the history of the world. Chaos begins. That fungi is spreading from person to person. It corrupts your brain. It takes over your motor infections. All you want to do now is fight and bite. You're kind of like a zombie. As society breaks down, Joel, Tommy, and Sarah are in a truck. Things are bad, but Joel has a plan.
Yeah, I know that place. It's to work.
Yeah, but then what?
I don't know. Mexico. Just far. As far as we can. How much gas?
3/4 tank.
We go through town. Golf course by the river, straight across. We pick up the highway on the other side of the blockade. Then we're out.
So that's Joel before the end of the world, right? He's calm-ish. He's capable. What follows that is a couple minutes of some of the most harrowing television I have seen. There's explosions, mass panic, an avalanche of zombies, almost picture perfect to the original game footage. But at the end of it all, Joel has lost his daughter. Now we jump ahead 20 years. The world is a husk. People live behind these quarantine zones, walls, the QZs. Joel and his partner Tess are scraping by, and then he gets saddled with Ellie, this 14-year-old that needs to be delivered to some scientists trying to end this blight. But Joel doesn't care about that. This Joel doesn't care about anything. He is almost a zombie himself, capable of much destruction, but almost dead inside.
If you don't think there's hope for the world, why bother going on?
You haven't seen the world, so you don't know. You keep going for family.
I'm not family.
No. You're cargo.
There's still one other part of the equation missing, the Ellie. and they found it in Bella Ramsey. You might remember them as Lyanna from Game of Thrones. If Joel is this post-apocalyptic Frankenstein, Ellie is his mini-me who protects themselves with this hard shell, a switchblade, and a great supply of curse words.
Gotta say, it sounds faintly horrifying, but I'm kind of fascinated. And practically speaking, Eli, the show was shot in Alberta. How convincing is that?
It's incredibly convincing. Look, this is one of the most expensive productions ever to be filmed in Canada. There's tons of Canadian talent in front and behind the scenes. And you look at what they've done, taking Alberta, taking Edmonton, taking Canmore, and changing it to this post-apocalyptic world. And I think part of the pleasure of the show is the beauty in the decay and destruction, to see what it would look like if we left, to see how nature slowly comes back, and that graffiti and, all those little touches, and even the way the fungus, these spores that spread through the buildings, creating these amazing patterns. And that is part of the pleasure of this show. I will say I am 3 episodes in. I am very impressed. Episode 2, if you haven't gotten your zombie fix on, watch it with the lights on. It is something. And then episode 3 is an fascinating diversion. So 4 stars out of 5, because we're just getting started. 9 episodes to the first season. I think it is really quite something.
Wow, a rave review from Eli Glasner. Thank you so much for this morning. CBC senior entertainment reporter and Screen Time columnist.